and welcome to episode 133 of the Heartland Knits podcast. My name is Vicki, but you can find me as Heartland Knits on Ravelry and Instagram. And today is Sunday, January 24th, 2016. Almost said 2015, and it's the end of January. But as you might notice, I am in a new, different location. I was trying to look for some light. It was looking really gloomy in kind of the corner where I usually record by the fireplace. So I came in here to the dining room, and I have some natural light from windows over here. So hopefully it's not too bright. It's a gloomy day. But anyway, as you might know, I did not record an episode last week. I've been so focused on my knitting. I just felt like I didn't have kind of enough to show you, even if it would be a short episode. This week, I've still been just completely focused on mainly one project. I only have one to show you. I have done maybe a round or two on a couple of other things, but not enough to really drag it out. So I have some other things planned kind of for the end of the show, but let's start out with what's on my needles. And the focus that I've been doing has been on Rona, which is Alice Starmore Fair Isle sweater. The last time you saw it, I had the body kind of up to the underarms, and then I had one sleeve finished, and I had either just started the second sleeve or was set to start it. So I knit the second sleeve, joined them together, and now I am up to kind of where the neck will start. So I have these all together. I'm doing this in a kind of set in sleeves in the round. So it's, done kind of like a yoke sweater, but then the shaping for the armholes is to do a set in sleeve. So hopefully you can kind of follow this line. It has that sort of kind of soft arc. And I have the kind of width of the shoulders that I want. So now I'm just decreasing my sleeve stitches, and I'm up kind of to this point. It was not all completely smooth sailing to getting to this point. I was actually at this point last Wednesday, and I was all like excited that I was going to maybe have the entire body knit and like put together by today. And then I was kind of just, looking at the sleeves and kind of got to this point and was going to reevaluate kind of, how I was doing those decreases on the sleeves. And I counted one, and I had, counted the other sleeve, before that, and they were different numbers. And so I had to, this was Wednesday night, kind of late, and I was looking, and I was, I could see, well, I was decreasing on that sleeve. Go to look and find out. I put some stitches on a thread at the underarm. I already have these grafted together, but I had stitches for both the body and the sleeve at the underarm, like you do for a yoke sweater. And so somehow I had only put half the number of stitches on hold for the one sleeve as I did for the whole rest of the body and the other sleeve. And so I ended up going back and like switching it. I could have kind of decreased on the sleeve and fudged it, and then it would have had to like fudge it to do the grafting on the underarm. And bird clock. But I just thought I've put so much time into this sweater, and I've been working on it steadily for the last couple weeks, but I've been really enjoying working on it, and it almost felt like, I got to the top of this band, and I thought, that's the last time I'm going to do that band. So it really was not like too much of a hardship to rip it down to the underarm again and knit that back up. So now I'm at the point, I just knocked stitches off my needle, I see. But this is Shetland yarn. This is all Jameson Spindrift, which is a Shetland yarn. So they've got little hairs. It's not particularly slippery. So now I'm at this point. I'm actually trying to decide if I want to do what this kind of Peary, band that divides all the bigger bands. If I want to do that at the top, or I want to start the neck here. But what I will do is I will cast off my steek stitches and then put a few stitches on hold for either side of the neck. And then I will cast on new steek stitches and do my neckline shaping just on either side of those steek stitches. So this is really the last point that I'm going to be able to try this sweater on, because, and that's what I was kind of excited, like if I had gotten to that point on Wednesday and I was going to do it, that I could show this to you. But it kind of, because you're decreasing and you've got stitches on hold, it draws it in and it makes it, they call it doing the kangaroo pouch. If you've never done one before, you just kind of have to take it on faith that it's going to work. When you open that steek up, then you will have your neck all shaped. But anyway, maybe I will take some pictures or a little video or something when I'm at that point during this week, and so that I can show that to you. But anyway, this has been the main focus of my knitting, and yeah, I've been really enjoying knitting on it. And then for off the needles, I just grabbed, instead of grabbing some knitting, I don't know, I thought I would go to the way back finished projects, kind of before I was a knitter, and I grabbed this just to show you. So before I was a knitter, I did all kinds of other like needle work, embroidery and crewel and hardinger and needlepoint and all of those things. And this was something that I did kind of when I think I was a senior in college, but I made this piece, which was kind of finished off into a pillow, but it's a type of like pulled thread needlepoint. So hopefully you can like zoom in. So the flowered section is needlepoint done with pearl cotton, and then the other ones, I guess it was a special kind of canvas that allowed you to kind of like pull. So you did it with the pearl cotton, but you made all these kind of like different designs, and it came in a little, it wasn't a kit, but it was like a little booklet. I remember seeing it there was a really nice kind of needlework store, and the woman who owned the store had done one, and it was like a little booklet, and then you just bought the canvas and all the threads and things. But it was done on, you had to have it stretched very taut on a frame, and I remember I had it in my, like bedroom in college, that I had, like it just was hanging on the wall, like as I worked on it, and I would take it down and like do a little bit. But it was really one of the most fun projects that I ever made. So in spinning, I still have not been spinning much at all. So, but I really want to. I'm not sure I'm going to do the Saxony project, because it's just been sitting there and I just can't seem to kind of move along and work on it. But I really want to get to the other project that I told you about, and I thought, oh, I'll just quick show you kind of the fiber, like what I'm talking about. So I keep it in this box, which is a box I got from a cookie place, the Honolulu Cookie Company. Completely addicting. And I keep it in there because it kind of keeps everything in there. So this is fiber from my bunny that I plucked like 5 years ago. You can see how light and airy it is. So this is his fiber. Maybe I will try to throw a couple pictures in so that you could see what he looked like. But I plucked this all by hand. We had a little bit of a stormy relationship, that bunny and me. I had him for only about 6 months. He had been a friend's, and then she was moving away, and so I took him. He was not used to being handled very much, and didn't know if he really liked me all that much. But we got over it, and so I have, this is like the first box. This is the box of fiber I've been spinning for a couple years now, off and on. I found a whole nother box full like this, and another like little bag. So I have a lot of bunny fiber. He was French and satin. So it's really, really pretty fiber. And more than the project that I have kind of slated for the Saxony, I really want to knit a shawl out of this fiber. I'm spinning it to a super like thin lace weight, and I'm thinking I will probably ply it with silk thread. And then for show and tell, since I'm sitting in here in front of the china cupboard, and I often show, like when I'm on Instagram and pictures and things, I'll show kind of what I'm knitting, and they'll have like my teacup in the background or something. I always get comments about my teacup. I thought I will show you like a little look at my teacup and Teapot Collection, which I am keeping right here in the china cup. Okay, so here's a little peek at the Teacup Collection. Kind of right here on the corner is a little bleak cup that kind of only ever gets used around St. Patrick's Day. But that bowl in the back is something that my grandmother had. It's and the other paintings that you see in the background are all done by Little Mom. She was a rose mauler and decorative painter. And I have the pansy. This teacup is a one from Russia. And then back there is a lace teacup that I knit for a knitting camp contest a few years ago. But I have a pink depression glass, which is a dogwood pattern, and then way in the corner is this little tea set, which is really pretty porcelain. And then the next shelf down, trying to do this slowly so to not shake the camera. This one right here that you see, that I bought at the Del Coronado. There was a little shop there. And so some of these cups were bought new and some are from antique stores. Pull out a little bit. There's a left hand. These two back here are from Hawaii. There's a red ginger, and then this is the kind of pineapple pattern, like a Hawaiian quilting pattern. One little Christmas one from Bavaria, and then I love that one in the corner. Love that one. And there's one more little bird back there too. And then the next shelf down has my very first tea set, which is the Japanese one in the corner. That was from my oldest sister when I graduated. And then this is a tea set that I bought in London. It is Duchess China, the June bouquet pattern. And I have little rosebuds from my garden kind of in the sugar bowl. This is one of the very first teacups that I ever bought. It's a Laura Ashley transferware one. And I always use it for hot chocolate. And then there is just a little birdhouse. And then this teapot was has never been used. It was Little Mom's. She received it for their wedding. Anyway, so there you have it, the Teacup Collection. So thank you so much for joining me today. The podcast is on iTunes and YouTube, and there's the Ravelry group, which is Friends of Heartland Knits, and then also there's the blog, which is heartlandknits.blogspot.com. Hopefully, I will have much more progress on Rona, and kind of once I get to kind of the whole body put together and kind of that neckline steek opened up, I think I will kind of move along and kind of change my focus to maybe another project, because then it's just the button bands and the neck band, and they're pretty straightforward like any other sweater, and I'm not really have like a deadline kind of date to get this done. It finally really feels like it's actually going to be done in the very near future. So that just makes me happy. Anyway, until I see you next week, from my heart to yours, happy knitting.